What is this?
It's a meme, Batman.
I don't understand.
Well, you see, people usually only play on one console, but both these women are so attractive that you'd want to play with them both.
Are you some kind of furry?
You're the one here wearing an animal suit.
You voted and I listened, so today we're talking about Batman, the most adaptable character that NetherRealm has ever made. I'm not joking when I tell you this character had everything, and it's likely why he's beloved by casual and pro players alike. But before we go any further, make sure to subscribe if you're new, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like after watching. Without any further ado, let's get started. Now, of course, it makes sense for Batman to be a jack of all trades. I mean, that's his main trademark in comics, is that he can do absolutely everything, and as long as he has prep time, he can take on most people in DC. However, despite having a bit of everything, some of Batman's tools are way above average, and a great example is his projectile. This thing is really good. It might be one of the best projectiles in fighting game history, and I'm not exaggerating. I know it doesn't seem like much, but believe me, this projectile can do so many things. So for starters, it hits twice by default, and it hits twice back to back immediately. And as a result, this move just chews through armor. So I'm gonna tell Superman to do an Armored Ford 3. This move has one hit of armor. If I attack, Superman can tank the hit and launch me for a full combo. However, the batarangs hit twice, which means I can do this. Boom. It blows through most armored attacks in the game, a vast majority, over 90%. There are some characters who can tank it, like Bane's level 3 Venom, or even Doomsday's trait. Some attacks can tank this thing, but a vast majority cannot, which means this basic projectile just says no to your armored move. Don't even try it, and it hits mid. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but you can't even duck under this thing. It's guaranteed to get some chip damage at the least. And even though it is minus 12 on hit, it's not punishable unless you do it right in the opponent's face. Plus, as long as you have 1 bar of meter, the opponent's never sure if you're gonna detonate or not, because you can delay the detonation. And this explosion is crazy plus on block. Like, we're talking plus 30 or something crazy like that. So you can just guarantee a jump in, you can guarantee a back 3, which is plus, you can guarantee a forward 3, which is also plus, and just go for more mix-ups, go for a low, go for an overhead, just get more pressure going. And because you can delay the explosion after the batarangs hit, you get even more damage as well. So normally it's 7%, but time your explosion correctly, and now you're getting 11 for 3 hits in total. Not to mention the explosion on this thing is actually quite big, so a lot of characters have trouble jumping over it, especially if you detonate it early or late. The timing depends, but trust me, this thing can be a godlike anti-air. And honestly, trying to jump these things was always a bad idea because Batman had trait, and these bats track the opponent's location, so you can time your trait to go after you throw the batarangs, and if they jump, they'll get caught by the batarangs for a full combo punish. So for example, a situation like that would look something like this. As you can see, that's a very easy punish for 30%. It cost a bar, but so what? You can't jump on Batman, and that's my main point. And while we're on the topic of combos, Batman had some very easy damage, and he didn't even need meter to do it. So look at that, a basic punish combo, you're getting 27%. Here's a better punish combo if the opponent really messes up. As you can see, we're now getting 33%. For no meter, that's pretty good in most fighting games, and it's good in this game as well. Because a lot of characters need meter in this game to do any combos at all, but Batman's not one of those characters. He can always get combos even without meter. And of course, once he had trait, the combos got even longer. And I'm sure you've seen plenty of combo videos, but here's a basic combo that Batman can do when he has trait. As you can see, the opponent's almost half dead for just 1 bar of meter. And I didn't have to go for the interactable. That was honestly a mistake. I could have got damage without using it at all. In fact, you can even activate the trait mid-combo, which looks very swaggy, and the damage isn't crazy, but just keep in mind, Batman can activate trait whenever he wants to. It doesn't have to be at the end of a combo. And we might as well talk about the trait while we're here. This thing is amazing on block, and it's what made this trait so ridiculously godlike. The game says they're plus something on block, but it's not accounting for all the distance and the fact that Batman can move freely when throwing them, which means he can just walk forward and get guaranteed pressure. So for example, if I have the bats and then end the combo, I can send them out, run in, and the opponent's forced to deal with all of my offense if I time things correctly. Or in other words, the bats are just a free way in whenever you want them, and they're great for extending combos. They're pretty much an all-around amazing move. In fact, they can even be good for defense and spin around you like this, but most players didn't do that because, well, it's just not that great compared to how amazing the projectile version is. This thing is godlike, and I can't say that enough. Once again, it's great for combos, it can even zone, and it's also great for pressure, an all-around amazing trait. And of course, we can't make a Batman video without talking about his jump ins, because this guy is godlike from the sky. His jumping 2 especially, MK Rio made an entire video on this thing because it is one of the most godlike cross-ups in fighting game history, especially for NetherRealm games. This move has an amazing hitbox in front of and behind Batman, so even if you barely misspace your jump and land behind them by accident, don't worry about it, it's a happy accident because this thing hits very far behind him and amazing in front of him, so you can jump with Batman, press 2, and you're gonna be okay. However, despite how godlike jumping 2 is, jumping 3 is also a cross-up as well, and it's a bit delayed, so it can catch people off guard every now and then. In fact, I think even jumping 1 is a cross-up. Yeah, it totally is. So for no reason, Batman just has 3 different cross-ups. The guy's deadly from the air, and it's the jumping 2 that's the star of the show. This thing is a nightmare to everybody. However, not enough people talk about scatter bombs. This is also a godlike air option that Batman has, because it pretty much says no to every single anti-air in the game unless you throw something at him. If your attack involves your body, you're gonna lose to this thing. So if Batman's jumping in all day and he just knows that you're gonna try and anti-air with a down 2 or some sort of physical attack, he can just do scatter bomb and punish you for trying to anti-air. Now, of course, despite the animation, this move is not very active. It goes away almost immediately, but as long as you time things correctly, it stops almost every anti-air in the game, once again, unless they throw something at you. Once again, as an example, I'm gonna have Superman do his rising grab. It's a really good anti-air, but check this out. It will lose to scatter bomb. Just straight up, no. Stay on the ground, Superman. You can't beat scatter bomb. It's too good. And Batman can even double jump. Not enough people talk about this. Everyone sees the hover, which is down forward in the air. He can do it for a cross-up. He can avoid some keep away with it, and he can fly down with an amazing elbow drop, which just looks sick. However, on top of that, he can also double jump in the backwards direction, so he can jump backwards twice for amazing air, once again great for avoiding keep away, or he can neutral jump and still double jump backwards. This guy has a straight up double jump in Injustice. That's insane. Almost nobody has that. Some characters have air dashes, which are really good, make no mistake, but almost nobody can just double jump like Batman can. That's super rare, and it's really strong. Batman's playing Guilty Gear while everyone else is playing Injustice. And next up, we have to talk about Batman's defense, because it's also godlike. His cape parry, despite the animation, activates in 1 frame, which means it's instant. Immediately after you press the buttons, this thing can parry. So as you might imagine, this parry is extremely useful, and look how active it is too. You can do it early and still parry the opponent, or do it last minute, because once again, 1 frame startup. It's a very, very reliable parry. Now, of course, it does lose to jump-ins and low attacks, just like most parries in NetherRealm games, but even so, the 1 frame startup combined with how active it is makes it godlike. In fact, it even worked on Bane's charge when the game first came out, and as a result, Bane had a really tough time against Batman. Now, thankfully, after a later update, it no longer works on Bane's charge, so the poor guy doesn't struggle as much against Batman. And since we're talking about defense, we might as well cover anti-airs as well, because Batman has 2 for some weird reason. He has an up batarang, which is pretty fast and has a great angle, and just like his other batarang, he can detonate it, only this one launches the opponent for a full combo. So not only can it anti-air, but it also starts combos. Yeah, this anti-air is pretty godlike, and the damage you get is so good. However, if you wanted combos, then Sky Grapple was better. Up batarang is a better raw anti-air, and the explosion, by the way, is plus. I should have mentioned that. It's godlike on block, but Sky Grapple is your main option for combo extension. For example, just check out this basic combo right here. This was actually one of Batman's main bread and butter combos. And as you can see, we're getting 38%, so almost 40% for just 1 bar of meter after a jump in. Yeah, this thing's great for combos. And I almost forgot about Batman's down 2. This thing is equally godlike, an amazing anti-air. In fact, many would tell you it's one of the best down 2s in the Injustice series. It's just really good, starts combos, extremely fast, all that great stuff. And then finally, for Batman's defense, we have to talk about his slide kick, because this is his wake up. And yes, it has full invincibility on startup, and look at the range on this thing too. It goes surprisingly far. And of course, on hit, you have the option to meter burn it if you want. It's not worth it most of the time, but hey, if the opponent's low on life and you catch him with this, why not spin the bar and then win the round? Not to mention, Batman does have certain hits in his string that hit overhead, so now just do slide kick instead and you have a 50-50. Here's a mid overhead, now it's mid low instead. Here you have low mid overhead, now it's low mid low. Even though Batman's 50-50s don't start combos, make no mistake, he does still have them, so he can constantly keep you guessing on block, especially at the casual level. Plus his forward 3 has amazing range, and so does his slide kick, so from mid-range he kinda does have a 50-50. And now it's finally time to talk about Batman's super. Now in the Injustice game, supers aren't your best option most of the time, but Batman's is worth taking note of because it tracks the opponent's location and it's only -14, so if spaced correctly, it's completely safe and it tracks the opponent. That's pretty godlike. Now of course the damage is not good. Batman gets the same damage, if not more, for 1 bar of meter, but even so, keep in mind that supers can't be escaped with the clash, and as a result, if your opponent's at 1/3 health and you pop this, you just win. So when you combine that with the fact that it tracks the opponent's location, Batman can whiff punish you and then just win the match, because once again, it's guaranteed damage once you land it. As you can see, the title of this video did not lie. Batman is the most adaptable character that NetherRealm has ever made. He can rush down, he can play defense, he can avoid keep away, amazing mixes too on block, all that incredible stuff. And that's why Batman is a top pick for casuals and professional players as well. You saw Batman pretty often at tournaments, even in Injustice 2. So if you love Batman or you simply enjoyed my video, please leave a like down below. It really does help my channel out a ton. And then keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell. That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.